Need for Speed Payback soundtrack is awesome. There's really no other way to put it. So the soundtrack was released today on Spotify. The soundtrack for Need for Speed Payback, you can listen to it right now on Spotify, and I've been driving home. When I was driving home, that was what I was playing. When I was stuck in traffic, that's what I was playing, and just doing some tasks, playing Drive Club, and just Need for Speed 2015, I've been listening to it, and I just gotta say, I probably listened to the entire set list by now, and I just gotta say, it is probably the best soundtrack in a Need for Speed game since The Run, probably. And The Run came out in 2011, so in 6 years, this is the best Need for Speed soundtrack in 6 years, and the soundtrack seems pretty similar to the Run. Now, The Run had a lot more garage rock because that was what was more popular at the time back in 2011. But now, like, we've seen an influx of grime. We've seen like more rap type, like hip hop take front stage. Rock is still there. There's a really good mix of just rap, rock, metal. I don't think there is that much metal. I don't think there is any metal on this, but still, and of course grime. And recently, past year and a half, I've been listening to a ton of grime, and it really shows. There's Stormzy, of Skepta, Lethal Bizzle. I mean, you have Wiley, Giggs, Kano on the soundtrack, and that's just, you have so many good songs on here. Like, even songs like with 2015, there were a lot of songs, of course, with I just didn't know, like, but I tried listening to them and I just didn't like them. Like, there are a lot of songs on this playlist that I never heard of before, but just listening to it for the first time, I could just tell I'm gonna love this song. Like, there were just tons of songs. Now, there were a couple songs I already listened to, like the Run the Jewel songs, which are in Panther Like a Panther and Hey Kids. Those were both songs I've heard of before. And again, those songs are both on the soundtrack, and I love those songs, especially with Danny Brown on Hey Kids as well. Just love them. As well as Rebels from Ohana Bomb. A few of the songs that are on the set list, like Jaden Smith's song, Watch Me, a lot of these we kind of knew from the trailers, so we kind of guessed that they were going to be on the soundtrack. Same with the Ex-Ambassadors song, The Devil You Know. Again, another really good rock song. But then again, some of the newer songs that I'd listened to, like Lights Out by Royal Blood, and I Was Just a Kid by Nothing But Thieves. Again, songs, Nothing But Thieves, sorry. These songs are just, like, just listening to them for the first time, I could just, I love them. Even songs that, like, I never really thought would be in a Need for Speed game before, like Three Wheels Up. When I listened to that, like, the first time I heard it, I've heard that song, like, at least a year ago, or not even a year ago. It was a long time ago I actually heard Three Wheels Up by Kano, but I never really imagined it in a Need for Speed game, but now I can actually kind of imagine it in a Need for Speed game, just with it being paired with all these other songs. Again, I win. First time I heard that song, I really couldn't consider this being in any racing game at all. But now that I've seen it on the set list, you know, I feel like there'd be a better Skepta song than I Win, but still, I could feel like I Win's could be a really good song. Like, it fits pretty well. Like, all of these songs fit really well. Aside from one or two that just kind of stick out, I feel like these are all going to fit in well with Need for Speed. Unlike 2015, where I felt like there were tons of songs that why were they even in the game? Like, you know? Overall, I'm really, this soundtrack is just really good. It has a great feel, and I feel like, in my opinion, more good songs on this set list than the last two soundtracks combined, both 2015's and Rivals, because those soundtracks are kind of shit. So I'm just saying, this is, again, probably the best soundtrack since The Run, and I've just listened to every single one, and it's just, I'm loving it. Whoever was in charge of this music department at Ghost, they did their research, they did their job, and they have a really good set list. The only thing's missing is System of a Down. I'm sorry, I had to add that in. Even then, I don't think System of a Down would probably fit here, honestly. I mean, there are a couple songs, but they're more like classic rock songs I feel would go really well. But then again, they want to try and put current songs, which I can understand. I can understand that fine. What I'm probably going to do is, I'm probably going to be listening to this soundtrack for a lot longer, because 2015 soundtrack, I kind of just stopped listening to it like a week in. I didn't even finish the game, I just kind of stopped. But now, I'm probably going to listen to this soundtrack a lot more often, and I'm probably just going to add songs and like create a playlist of songs that I felt like I should, that would fit quite well with this soundtrack, and make a little fantasy playlist. I feel like a lot of good Led Zeppelin songs and Pink Floyd would also fit well, as well as maybe some Black Keys and stuff. Like, those songs I feel like would go really well in this soundtrack. But overall, I'm really impressed with the soundtrack. It's just so good, and it's really good. I'm really impressed. And even with 2015 soundtrack, when I first heard it, I think they released it before the game came out. I just wasn't impressed. But right off the bat, I'm really impressed with this. But that's all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more Need for Speed Payback related content, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.